Hey crafty friends, it's Andrea from Prairie Sky DIY, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Manitoba, Canada. Okay, I promise, once you have the measurements down, this project is really quick to make. It was a bit of a process. There is a little bit of scoring, but it definitely levels up the handmade aspect of your gift giving. This would be great to tuck in with some marshmallows for a little s'mores kit. This sizing is for a 45-gram bar. I did not have the brain power to kind of customize sizing for any additional sizes. And I've got the notches already cut out because I needed to make sure that this was actually going to work before I created it for you. So I'm just burnishing all of the score lines. This would be about 1,000 times easier to do if you burnish before you cut, but what's the fun in that? Okay, so I did do a little bit of an oops there, but it's okay, we can fix that. And I do have one cut that I need to amend. So all of these measurements are in the PDF, and you can use whatever color cardstock, whatever color designer series paper you want. Decorate it however you see fit. I'm using garden green here. Okay, so we've got our piece notched out. Basically, the short skinnies are going to be cut out because we're going to be making an enclosure for our chocolate. Now, we're going to do a little bit of adhesive on the larger tab. And fold it in and line it up. Make sure that everything is lined up before you give it a good push down. This is a little fiddly, so I'm sorry if you can't see exactly what I'm doing. And then we're just going to go in with our bone folder and give it a good push down. And then these little side flaps are going to pop up, and that's what's going to hold your chocolate bar in place. So we're just going to add a couple of little lines of adhesive here. Oops. And there are a few different ways that you can seal this. You can get the little dollar store craft magnets. I don't tend to use those because I don't tend to have a ton of success with them. Velcro would work well, but I'm actually going to make a little sleeve. Okay, so we're just going to add our adhesive onto this guy. Ignore the X's. I was trying to make it make sense in my head, but it didn't, so I disregarded them. When you are creating a template for an idea that you have, excuse me, if you're at that stage of your crafting journey, I highly recommend measuring about 75 times before you do anything, and also doing it on a scrap first. I played with a piece of crumb cake that I had already obliterated with another idea. So instead of throwing it out, I got a little creative and used that instead. Okay. And you can see, far from perfect, far from great, lots of crossed out lines, but it's fine. It worked out in the end. Okay, so now our little chocolate bar going to slide in quite easily. If you want to, you could add a little pocket here for a gift card or tuck a gift card in behind. And it closes. Tell you, nobody is surprised as I am right now that this actually closed and it actually worked. So now we're going to do our little sleeve. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. This piece is just a little too long. So I'm going to cut it down. Actually, let's see if it goes around first. Because again, we use what we have. This was a scrap that was laying on my desk. All right, it does go around. So we're going to cut off, I don't know, I'd like some of the green to show through. Finished size, we'll go 5.5 maybe. Yeah, that works. Okay, and there's a couple of different ways that you can do your sleeve. You can measure it and score it, or you can do kind of a little bit more of an easier and informal. And the way I prefer doing it, actually, because doing it this way is going to ensure that it's going to fit, but this might be a little bit too long, actually. It's going to make sure that it fits, but your score lines aren't going to be perfect. So it will be a little bit easier to slide off. I'm going to trim just a little bit of that off as well. So it's not perfection in my craft room. It's a lot of experimenting, trying, seeing if something will work. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't work, not the end of the world. We just go back to the drawing board and try again. Okay, so we're going to go back, and then want to make sure that your edges are lined up, and you want it loose enough that it's actually going to slide. Okay, and then we're just going to add a little bit of adhesive. You want to make sure that your edges are straight. Add a little bit more. Actually, I'll do a little bit on this side so we get right the edge, right to the edge. Not. All right, there we go. And make sure your corners or your edges are lined up and press it down. So it's not a super tight fit. You can slide it in and out. You could leave it like this and you can just be completely done with it. But I think we're going to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit and hide this line, add some. Now, if I could find my Merry Christmas. Oh, here we go. What color do I want to do? Actually, let's do garden green. See, the project is quick. It's all of the other stuff that takes a little bit of time. Okay, let's see if this is actually going to work and fit. Oh, looks like this guy needs to be re-inked, so I'm not so sure we're going to be using this. Yeah, no, that needs to be re-inked, so we're just going to grab our black. If you're curious on how to re-ink the stamp pads, just pop it in the search bar on my channel. I've got a really quick video that shows you how to do it. It's super easy. All right, much better. Okay, now we're just going to trim and decorate. I love this stamp. When you're trimming your sentiments, you want to make sure that nothing, like you can't see any of the ink in the cutting gutter, because if you do, it's not going to end well. Let's see, is this, oh, just big enough. Okay, so let's see, how big is this? And of course, as you're doing it, you can decorate however the mood strikes you. I'm just doing a really quick and easy job here, just because it needs to be finished a little bit more. Oh, actually, yeah, you know what? We're going to do that side. I was originally going to do the snowflakes, but I think I like the green a little bit more. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to plunk Merry Christmas down front and center. Then I've got some of our handy dandy sequins that I seemingly am addicted to right now. I'm going to plunk that in the center. So this really dresses up quite simple, plain. We're going to go with the copper, I think. Quite simple, plain, very quick gift idea. And then this is an easy enough one that you can just tuck it in your bag and have on hand just to brighten somebody's day. Super quick, super, well, quick-ish. Let's go with ish. There's not a lot of ish in my craft room. And once you have the measuring down pat, it really does come together quite easily. And slip in some cash, slip in a gift card, whatever is going to make somebody's day. And then they can even re-gift it and fill it with some chocolate for somebody else when they're done. Whoops. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and I'll see you soon.